guys, welcome to my channel. It's Shak and I'm back with another one. Today I'm back with something different. As you can see from the title, I'm pregnant. So I've decided I want to document my pregnancy. So this video is just basically going to be on my first 12 weeks. I am actually a little bit further now, but you know, the first 12 weeks was a little bit hard for me, so I couldn't post because I was too busy going through it. But yeah, this is my first 12 weeks. I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm going to tell you how I found out, who I told first, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'm just want to get into the video. Also, I'm eating at the same time. Sorry, I'm hungry. So, yes, I'm pregnant. I'm so happy, guys. Like, anyone who knows me knows that this is something I've always wanted and something I've wanted for a long time. I love children and I just couldn't wait to have one of my own, and now I've finally been blessed with my own little bundle, so I just can't wait. Everyone is so happy for me, everyone is so excited. It's just so nice, like it's just lovely. So yeah, so first I'll just tell you guys how I found out. I found out when I was probably about 4 weeks, like proper early, because I found out the day before my supposedly missed period. I actually found out at work, and it's like I kept contemplating on whether I should I just do a test, because you know, like as a woman you always have pregnancy scares, you always think you're pregnant. So this time around, like I didn't want to do a test straight away just in case I was wrong. I've done so many tests in my lifetime, it's just long, so I wanted to wait a bit. But it got to a point where I was like getting all these twinges and funny feelings, and I kind of just knew, you know, but you're still not sure. So I was just unsure. So I kept putting it off, and then I just thought to myself, I was at work, I was on my lunch break, and I must have went to go get some lunch, and I went into Sainsbury's and I just thought, should I just do it now? Should I get a test? Should I just do it? Should I just do it? Yeah, I was in Sainsbury's and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Bought the test. Even when I bought the test, it was kind of like, am I really doing this? Like, am I really gonna do this at work? Like, am I really doing this? But I don't know, it just got to a point where I was putting it off for so long, I just thought, now's the time to just do it. So I did it, and I did it at work in the toilet, and it literally came up straight away. When I say even though I knew, I was still so shocked. I was so happy. I remember I was just laughing and crying at the same time, because I was just like, oh my god, no, I'm happy, but oh my god, I'm pregnant, sort of thing. Straight away I called my mum, called her on a FaceTime, and I literally just showed her the pregnancy test, and straight away she just started, I think she laughed, or she might have said oh my gosh or something, and straight away she started crying, and we was both just crying. And obviously I'm her only child, so this is like her first grandbaby as well, so she was really happy, she was really excited. And then we called my nan in like a three-way video call, and then she started crying as well, so all three of us was in this video call just crying, but we was all happy, and they were just saying how happy they were for me, and I know this is something I've always wanted. And yeah, so that is how I found out, long story short. What made me think I was pregnant was the weirdest thing was, one day I woke up with like a giant boob, like my left boob was just massive, like proper lopsided, massive. And I thought it was strange, but obviously I knew that my period was coming, so I thought, okay, normally it's not like that, but I just thought, okay, maybe it's different this month. But that did play on my mind for a bit, and I was just thinking, wow, like I literally woke up with the biggest boob, because I didn't even like tell my boyfriend, like, look at my tit, like it was massive. So that was like one of the first indicators. And then another thing was, I kept getting this weird feeling in my lower stomach. And now I know when you're coming on, you get little bits of cramps and stuff, but I just knew that this feeling was so different to how it normally feels when I'm coming on. So that did play on my mind for a bit. Like, I think that was probably like the implantation, whatever it's called, going on in there. I think I had maybe 1 or 2 vivid dreams, and obviously I've been pregnant before. When I was 21, I was pregnant, but like that sadly ended in a miscarriage. And one of my indicators straight away with that was I had the most craziest dream. I had a dream that I was sleeping in my room, but there was this massive spider in my bed, and I remember seeing this massive spider in my bed, and I remember I literally jumped out of my bed and put the light on, and it was like at that point I kind of woke up and realised that it was like it was a dream, it was a bad dream, but I've never like jumped out of my sleep. I literally jumped out of my bed and switched the light on to see if the spider was really there. And I just felt like, wow, that dream was so dramatic and vivid, and that to me was an indicator that I was pregnant the first time around. So this time around I was having vivid dreams as well. So that was another one of my indications. Another thing where I just knew is, in general, I'm a bit of a crybaby. Like, I'm an emotional person. But I think me and my boyfriend had fallen out over something so minor, like it really wasn't a big deal. But I just remember wanting to really cry about it. And I was just thinking, what is wrong with you? I know like sometimes when you're coming on, you're upset for the dumbest things and whatever. But this situation, I proper wanted to cry about it. And that was when I thought, okay, something is up, because you're a bit too emotional even for you. Those were my indicators. It was definitely the giant boob. It was the giant boob for me. Like, that had never happened before, and I had woke up with the biggest tit, like, honestly. Now, my first few weeks were actually okay. I felt like I was eating a lot more than usual. But now that I think about it, I personally don't think that was a pregnancy craving or a pregnancy thing. Because obviously as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I stopped smoking. I think that was a case of, I think that was more because I stopped smoking. Because you know, like when you stop smoking, you have more of an appetite. You might eat more because you're not smoking and stuff like that. So I do think maybe it was more than non-smoking, because when the sickness kicked in at around 6 weeks, the whole eating a lot and all that stuff, that had already gone by then. So the first few weeks once I had found out I was pregnant, that was like one of the things that I had, but I don't think it was due to the pregnancy. Actually, another indicator that what made me think I was pregnant was I was weeing a lot. Like every minute I was going to the toilet, and that is definitely not normal for me. Even though I do drink a lot of water, that's not normal for me. Like normally I can, on my breaks or whatever, go to toilet, but in between driving, because I do bus driving for a job, like there were times where I literally had to terminate the bus, stop the bus and go to the toilet because I was like bursting. That was another indicator for me. The symptoms I had for the first few weeks was nausea, really, really, really bad nausea. Not so much throwing up, but really bad nausea, like a horrible feeling in my stomach, sort of like just uncomfortable, wanting to be sick even if I hadn't eaten much type of feeling. Tiredness was the killer for me. Like I could fall asleep like this, I could fall asleep anytime. I would take a nap at 5 o'clock in the evening and just wake up the next day. Like literally just slept the whole night. I'd say one of the worst things for me has to be the constipation. I have never been constipated before up until now. Guys, when I tell you, constipation is a bitch, okay? There's no two ways about it. Like, it is a horrible feeling of feeling bloated, wanting to go to the toilet, can't go to the toilet. It's like there's like a wall up just stopping you from going to the toilet. And then obviously you can't eat properly because you're all backed up. It's an uncomfortable feeling. It was just like, for me, it's the constipation more than anything that has just been an absolute killer for me. I did try some stuff. Obviously, my first 12 weeks, you know, midwives were saying, you know, eat lots of vegetables, drink lots of water, blah, blah, blah. But when you're going through the sickness, there's a lot that you can't eat. And me being someone who drinks a lot of water in general, water was one of the things I grew to really dislike. Like I couldn't deal with the taste of water. It had to be squash in it or lemon juice in it or something. Oh my God, I'm forgetting as well. I'd say within a week or two of finding out that I was pregnant, I did have a little bit of a scare. I had some spotting, and obviously had been pregnant before, I had spotting and then I had lost the baby. So straight away I panicked. So I had a lot of spotting. I had an early scan at, I want to say 6 weeks, I think it was. I'd have to check the scan picture. I think at about 6 weeks I had an early scan. If I'm wrong, I'll put it in there. And all you could see was like this little tiny circle and with a heartbeat in it, and I just remember being so gassed, thinking thank God like everything's okay. And then I think like a week later I had even more spotting, but this time before it was more brown, but this time it was more red. So I panicked again, and they had booked me for like the following week for another scan, because they said they don't really do scans too close together. And at this time it actually looked like a little bit of a baby, and the baby was fine, and you could see the heartbeat, and it was just like, oh thank God. So yeah, so I have had I've had my 12-week scan, but before that I had had 2 early scans already, because obviously with the spotting and what I had gone through before, the hospital were really nice, and they kind of just gave me some more scans to make me feel more better, which I was really, really grateful for, because like, I won't lie to you, being pregnant is one of the most amazing, exciting things, but it is one of the most scariest things, because any twinge, any little cramp, anything like that, especially if it's all new to you, and especially if you've lost one before, like, it's all just so scary. Like, I wouldn't even do it with my partner, because I was just scared that might hurt the baby, sort of thing. Like, everything was just scaring me, and I just turned into like the biggest chicken. But I am doing a lot better now. But obviously in the next video, when I give you a 16-week update, we'll talk more about that. I'll talk a bit about like what I'm taking at the moment. The day after I found out I was pregnant, I went to the chemist and I bought some vitamins. I've been using it's called Pregnacare, and it's like multivitamins, all the good biotin, vitamin C, vitamin D, all the good stuff that you need for your body and the baby. I'll insert a picture of it. And then a few weeks later I found out about Pregnacare Plus, which is like the vitamin I was already taking plus some, it's like it looks like a little tablet with oil in it. I think it's omega-3. So you have that tablet, so you take them both once a day. And I think that one is good for the baby's brain development, eyes, and something else. Whereas the other one is just like multivitamins, all the good stuff for the baby, folic acid, all that jazz. So when it came to telling people, I found it really hard. I think on the day I found out, I told my mum, I told my nan, and I told my auntie. Obviously I told my partner, and he told his mum. I told my mum and my nan first, and then I had told him, because I remember he literally works like down the road from where I work, and he was like, can you bring me some lunch? And I had finished, and I was thinking, I think I'd finished at like 2 o'clock. And I was just thinking, he doesn't finish till 6. Like, I cannot sit at home and wait till he gets back till 6 o'clock, but I don't want to call him, and I don't want to send him in a message. So when I was speaking to him and he was at work and he's like, oh, can you bring me some lunch? I was thinking, yes, like, I'm going to bring me some lunch. So I got him a quick little like meal deal from like Sainsbury's or whatever. And I remember I was like, here's your this, here's your that, here's your that, and here's the baby. And I gave him the pregnancy test. And I remember he was just like, what, you're pregnant? And I burst into tears again. And he was like, why are you crying? Like, and I was just like, I don't know. I keep laughing and crying. But when it comes to telling people, I wasn't really telling people too tough, because obviously the first time I was pregnant, I told everyone. And then obviously that pregnancy didn't last long. And not to be like superstitious and stuff, but people do say not to say anything at least until you're 12 weeks, because you're more out of the danger zone and all that stuff. So I wasn't really telling people, but my boyfriend was telling everyone. He was gassed. He was anyone, he'd be like, can I tell this person, can I tell that person? And I'd be like, okay, but like, he was just telling everyone. And it got to a point, and then like, he was like, he doesn't believe in the superstition thing, like the baby's gonna be fine, the baby's gonna come, like, don't worry about it, sort of thing. And obviously I do genuinely believe that this one's going to be a strong one, and the pregnancy is going to be just fine, and the baby's going to come out just fine, happy and healthy. Especially being where I am now as well. Like this far in the pregnancy, because obviously I am more than 12 weeks, but this is just my 12-week update. So yeah, I wasn't really telling people too tough, but I think I told a few more people around Christmas. But at this point I was a few weeks away from my first scan, and I was feeling very happy and positive about it, like nothing was gonna happen. So I did tell some more people, but after that I kind of kept it to myself. And to anyone out there who's pregnant, first baby, before they're 12 weeks, whatever, in my personal opinion, they say out of the danger zone. Anything could happen at any time throughout the pregnancy. Obviously, touch wood, it doesn't. nothing bad happens, but you know, you just don't know what happens. I just feel if you feel like you want to tell people, then tell them. If you feel like you want to keep it to yourself until a certain amount of time, then do that as well. Obviously, when I reached my 12 weeks, that's when I was literally just telling everybody, because I was so excited, and at this point I felt more comfortable to tell people. So the apps that I use, I'm using this app called Pregnancy Plus. There's another app that I downloaded, but I don't really use it, so I'm not going to tell you about it. But I use an app called Pregnancy Plus. It's such a good app. Like, it literally shows you what your baby looks like each week. It gives you a weekly update on the size and all that stuff. And it also gives you daily updates on what's going on with your baby. Each week you can choose the size of your baby, whether that be a fruit or a sweet or an animal. So like, I think the first week when I got the app, like, we was calling it a little jelly bean because that's how small it was at the time. No, it was a sesame seed at first, and then it was a jelly bean, and then it was whatever. The app is really, really, really good. So I would definitely recommend that app. It's really informative, and plus you can set up like a registry on there. I actually made it for myself. I wanted to start making a list for myself, so like throughout the pregnancy, whatever pops up, I'll add it to it. So the registry is more for me, but I might tell some people about it if they want to get me stuff, if they've got ideas, they've got some ideas on that. But obviously it's not really for them, because there's some big things on there, big expensive things that obviously I would buy, that we would get. The app's really good in terms of get regular updates, get daily updates. It's not just about the baby, it's about the baby, it's about your body. There's information for your partner on how to help you throughout your pregnancy as well. That's good. So I would definitely recommend Pregnancy Plus. I had my 12-week scan in January, and the baby was so active. It was so cute. Like, I remember when we went in there, I remember just when they first started the scan, like all you could see was the back of the baby, like the back. And it was kind of just wriggling, like, you know, like, leave me alone. And then like when they were doing all their checks and whatever, like the baby was just proper moving around. And I remember just sitting there like looking at the scan, and I just started crying, but I was happy. You know, when you're so overwhelmed, I wasn't even saying anything, whereas my boyfriend was asking all these questions, like no questions popped into my head other than, is everything okay? But like, he was asking all these questions and I didn't even think of it, because I was just so happy and so overwhelmed. But it was amazing, like, because I never got that far the first time around, just to see the baby and so active and the strong heartbeat. And when I heard the heartbeat as well, that was just it for me. When I heard the heartbeat, I was just like, oh my God, like, I could literally sit there and listen to it all day. And it's so strange, because it's like, at 12 weeks, I wasn't showing, so it was like, oh my God, there's a baby in there. Like, there's an actual baby in there, and to see it moving around and you can't feel it, it's just so surreal. It's amazing. Like, yeah, so that was a good day for us. It was a really, really, really good day. And yeah, so that's my first 12 weeks update for you guys. The next video will be my 16-week update. I'm not going to show you my belly in this one, because at 12 weeks I wasn't showing, like, at all. But my 16-week update, I'll show you a little bump. I'll show you what we've got going on. And each video after that, I'll tell you about how my pregnancy's been, and I'll show you a little belly pic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for all the new mums out there. I know everyone's experiences are different. That's kind of why I wanted to put my own one out there as well. One thing I will say is, obviously people tell you not to stress and to be calm and whatever, and that can be very hard. But in all honesty, if you can just try, because I was an absolute stress head for my first 12 weeks, and obviously you don't want to put stress on your body, you don't want to put stress on the baby. It is hard. If you can't do it, you can't do it. But if you could just try a little bit, I would really recommend to just stay as calm as you can, be as comfortable as you can, depending on your situation. Because I know obviously we're still in lockdown, so a lot of people are working from home. I can't work from home because I do driving as a job. But any opportunity you get to sleep, you sleep. Any opportunity you get to eat, you eat. If you can't eat because of sickness and nausea, just eat whatever you can. Try and get as much fluid in as you can. But obviously you get given so much information. It's like you're really trying, but you can't do it. But just do what you can. Everyone's pregnancy is different, and in your first 12 weeks, your baby isn't taking too much from what you put in your body at that time. I think it does take some from either 6 or 8 weeks, but just do what you can. I think it's really important to make sure you're taking your vitamins, because if you're not eating properly, at least you're getting in your vitamins. Obviously, if you can keep it down. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my 16-week update. Bye.